Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we're taking a look at the Newage Optimus Prime 2.0, or David, I believe the official title is, because this is a third-party company Transformer figure, meaning that it's not officially licensed by Hasbro or Takara Tomy, but it's still great nonetheless. Now, I've been collecting Legend Scale Transformers figures for, God, I want to say 3 or 4 years now, but I've never actually reviewed any of them. And before I buy any new figures, I think I should go back and take a look at these things and share them with you. So, with all that being said, we're going to start this review off just by looking at the vehicle mode, because if you're going to buy a Transformer, let's be honest, it better transform. And something I want to share with you first is just scale, because if this is your first Legend Scale video ever, you might not know how big this guy is. Well, just for reference, as we always have, here is a Lego minifigure Blue Beetle here, just to show you how small this figure is. Now, I personally collect Legend Scale Transformers because I love the characters and I don't have room for a whole masterpiece collection, but I can make room on a shelf or two for these Legend Scale figures. Getting Blue Beetle out of the way, and another amazing thing about Legend Scale figures is they scale super well with 1/64th scale vehicles such as Johnny Lightning cars and even Hot Wheels. So in a little miniature world, which is an aesthetic that I just absolutely love and always have, I'm gonna find myself enjoying Legend Scale figures. And for one more comparison, here is a Bakugan with the Newage Optimus Prime 2.0, and yeah, it is tiny. Bakugan are small. So just really impressive that something that will inevitably transform into Optimus Prime can look as small but as detailed as this. And there's just something so magical about putting non-transforming vehicles next to Legend Scale cars. Do a little side view for you there. Pretty great scaling. This is also one of my favorite little cars in my entire collection. I don't have a large 1/64 scale collection, but I collect cool looking cars every now and then, and this is a Mazda RX-7 79 FA version. Pretty cool. And again, here's a Hot Wheels car. It's kind of, the colors really match, but yeah, there you go. Here's a different Hot Wheels, just in case that one blended in a little too much. And as you can tell, yeah, even with the bigger vehicles, it still looks wonderful next to Optimus. And one last comparison here is the Dr. Wu Optimus Prime figure, an even smaller scale of figures that I'm starting to collect. I know, it's awful. And yeah, as you can tell, Dr. Wu figures are so itty bitty tiny. And once again, here's that Lego minifigure just to show off that scale as well. So let's get all this out of the way and take a look at the figure itself. And we're going to start in the vehicle mode because, of course, Transformers are more than meets the eye. So I'm going to leave the trailer on here for now. Optimus Prime is iconic with its trailer. The detailing here is great. The paint apps are great. Super clean. There's some paint, or there's some plastic warping on the top, but honestly, like, that's not a huge deal. The back even has some tail lights here and a opening gimmick, which comes with a ramp for your 1/64th scale vehicles to drive up. And they fit in the trailer, which is really nice. Now, of course, when we get to other Legend Scale Transformers figures, you'll see more recognizable cars in here, such as Bumblebee and Ironhide. But it's still cool that you can transport some Hot Wheels cars in there as well. So some pretty cool, fun play features here. Not anything I would use as for a display, but for photography purposes, it's nice. It looks nice. I can't deny that. And now we're going to take this off of the Optimus Prime vehicle real quick, just to get a closer look at it. So this isn't very big either. It can stand by itself, similar to the Masterpiece figures. So this trailer can keep itself open, like so. There you go. Cool little feature here. Nothing too crazy, but appreciated. One detail that I really like here is this little wheel, the spare tire. It's just a plastic mold painted black on the silver of the trailer itself. But yeah, little attention to detail here. Always good to show that kind of stuff off. Alright, and bringing Optimus Prime into frame, and the vehicle mode without the trailer is still pretty good. There are some very obvious non-vehicular detailing here. It looks like Optimus Prime's waist, but other than that, I'd say it's pretty clean. I think the feet at the back aren't great, to be honest. Compared to just how solid the rest of the design in, the feet on the back look to be haphazard, which isn't great, but also doesn't break the illusion of having a really nice front portion of the vehicle, in my opinion. Got some really nice translucent plastic for the windows here, the headlights here. There's no paint up here at the top, but I don't think it needs it. Simple is better, in my opinion, for G1 stuff. And now that it doesn't have the trailer, one last comparison with a 1/64th scale vehicle. Alright, and I'm coming in here with the voiceover just because transformations can take a while. This took me about 8 minutes, and I feel like I could do it faster, but doing a transformation on camera is not the easiest thing in the world. I was pretty nervous. Oh, there's Cusco. Hi, Cusco. So I would say that this transformation is fun and intuitive. The legs fit together real nice, it comes together in like a very anime accurate proportion figure. I messed up a few times here on the chest, just some rookie mistakes here, trying to cut some corners and get it done fast, and I wasn't really paying attention to like the flow of the transformation, so I had to undo it a few times here and there. But it is really cool how the front cab tucks into itself, and yeah, what you get as a final product to me is a great version of Optimus Prime, and that's not even discussing just how like easy and chill it is to transform this figure. So alright, and here we have Newage Optimus Prime 2.0 here in robot mode, and I personally think that it looks fantastic. When I think of G1 Optimus Prime, this is who I'm thinking of. The paint apps feel great, the figure feels strong, the quality of plastic is fantastic. One thing that you may see right now is some paint chipping there, but really that is the only blemish on this figure after years of transforming it and playing around. So let's get a little closer detail here, taking a look at the head sculpt, and once again, this is who I'm thinking of when I think of Optimus Prime. I think that it's great, getting better light on the eyes here. And at such a small scale, you can see my thumb in frame. That's fantastic to me. Spinning it around, getting a better look at the proportions. One of the things that this figure had a lot of critique on at the time when it released was both the size of the backpack as well as this big gap in front of the chest. I will admit that this is not the most appealing piece in the world, but truth be told, it doesn't bother me that much. And I do have the Magic Square Legend scale figure as well, and I still prefer this over that. Getting a look at some of the details in the arms, I think these are iconic for a G1 Optimus Prime. The paint apps on the front look great. Getting it around to the back, and yeah, you can see a lot of pins and joints here. It is a Transformer figure, but I don't think you can tell that it necessarily came from the figure that we were looking at before, which I think is just a win. That's a huge win. Getting down to the bottom of the legs, there are some pretty obvious pieces here that I have yet to transform all the way. There you go. So yeah, still pieces, kibble from the vehicle mode, but nothing insane, nothing super obvious. Again, I'm going to say this once and one last time. At such a small scale, I am incredibly impressed with the quality of this figure. So moving him off to the side real quick, you will see how this figure is larger than life now that I put that 1/64th scale car next to it once more, and it just blows up in size. It feels like when it was in vehicle mode, it felt like it was really close to the ground with this 1/64th scale car, and now it truly does feel like Optimus Prime is larger than life, and that if there was a person here, they are tiny compared to the giant that is Optimus Prime. So let's take a look at his accessories now. And starting with the classic, here is Optimus Prime's Ion Blaster. It fits right into his hand here. There you go. And now Optimus Prime looks like the leader of the Autobots. Again, very simple in design, just one paint app here, silver paint in there, but still fits the look. Very typical for an Optimus Prime figure. Another accessory super typical of an Optimus Prime figure is his axe, which just plops into a hole here on his arm. It's just done in this translucent orange plastic. Nothing crazy, nothing groundbreaking, but again, completes the look. What I'm more excited to talk about here is the hand option. So it came with those fists that were already plugged into the figure, which you need to have in there in order for there to be a transformation, but Optimus comes with these hand options here. These are some open, dynamic, splayed out action hands that actually have a hinge at the wrist, as well as can swivel at the wrist, which we'll get to later. But the hinge here means that you can give Optimus a lot more emotion coming out of the figure, which just brings the figure up by those points necessary in order to make it one of my favorite figures in my collection. So being able to photograph and make Optimus do whatever I need him to do with the hands just is really fun. Really fun feature. Glad it's added. Wish it was on more legend scale figures, but alas, it's usually just the big boys. And last but certainly not least are these pointing action hands, these commander pointing hands, or these finger gun hands. Once again, standard for an Optimus Prime figure, but really appreciated here. And one of Optimus Prime's last accessory, which is integral to the character, which is included in every single Optimus Prime figure, is the Matrix of Leadership, which goes into his chest, like so. And now Optimus Prime is complete. And close up these swinging hatches. You can see it from the exterior. You could take it out too if you don't want to see it, but there you go. Now Optimus Prime feels complete with his Matrix of Leadership. All right, I promised you'd be back, and it is just for a minute or so, hopefully not too long. So here's the trailer again. Here's Roller, and I don't think I currently have the pieces to connect these, but Roller can transport the trailer. What the trailer can also do is open itself up. And again, something that's included in many versions of Optimus Prime is his trailer becoming a repair station, battle dock, whatever you want to call it. Usually Optimus Prime is photographed just hanging out here, getting some work done on him or whatnot. I'm including it because it's here, but I don't have any feelings on this, to be perfectly honest with you. So there you go. All right, once again, here's a size comparison with a Lego minifigure. And again, here it is with that Dr. Wu figure, tiny Optimus Prime figure. Taking a look at some older reviews, here it is with the Pokemon Blastoise Pokepla figure, as well as that Dragonoid figure. So you can see Optimus Prime is small but mighty. All right, let's get into the articulation here. Now, for such a small figure, it is rather articulated. There are some flaws, as you can start to see already. So we'll get into it. So starting at the head sculpt, it is on a ball joint here and can swivel all the way around. And then on the back, there's a cutout here to move the head up. So the head can look up this far, can't look anywhere down. Doesn't really have a huge tilt, but there you go. And then here's that side profile. A little flat here, honestly, but nothing too major. Getting to the arms can move out this far. You can see this arm is getting loose over time. I'm sure that could be fixed, but not a great look, honestly. It's kind of a weird place for articulation. Arms can rotate all the way around. There is not a bicep swivel, but there's an elbow swivel, so basically the same thing. And there is about a 90-degree bend at the arm. Not terrible. Once again, getting to those hands, they're just on a peg, which is basically just a swivel. Again, this articulation break is rather frustrating at times, to be perfectly honest with you. It breaks the silhouette pretty consistently, but it does mean that you can get Optimus Prime some arm bend that wouldn't necessarily be possible. To each their own. I don't love it, but I wouldn't say that I hate it either. Getting to the chest, and you're going to be able to rotate the body all the way around, crunch pretty far forward, more than that if you really need it. Looks a little nasty from the back, but you can do it. You can also crunch back that far if need be. Again, looks a little nasty, but you can do it. We kind of already went over it, but you can open up the chest to expose the matrix of leadership here. Getting down to the legs, they can move out pretty far. Once you move the hip skirt armor, they can move out real far. They can kick up pretty far. They can kick back pretty far, so pretty unlimited articulation here. There's a thigh swivel. There's a double jointed bend at the knee. And at the ankles, you have a pretty great ankle tilt. Not as much the other way around. You got toe crunch if you need it. And reverse ankle crunch. Kind of gross. One thing you're going to see as I mess with this figure is that the joints are pretty loose and get loose over time. Now, I've had this figure for multiple years, so that's not uncommon, but while the quality in paint feels great, the joint tolerances aren't ideal. That being said, articulation, I would have to give it probably a solid 8 out of 10. Can't really ask much more from a figure that transforms in the way that it does. Alright, so all in all, I personally love this figure. I think it looks great, I think it feels great, I think the transformation's fun and intuitive and not overly complicated. It's pretty quick, it scales really well with 1/64th scale cars. A lot of good things to say about it, some not so great things, but if you're a Transformers collector, if you're a Transformers fan, and you're looking for a legend scale figure, I'd say you're not going to be disappointed by this. This is going to make you happy. The proportions, the accuracy to the cartoon are just wonderful. Budget friendly compared to Masterpiece collecting. There you go. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, let me know. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.